Hello everyone, I'm Jimson Lee for speedendurance.com, and today's video is how to write a sprint program. Now this also works for middle distance and long distance, and the number one request I get through private email is people asking me for a personal sprint program, a training program, and I don't like to give the workouts on an Excel spreadsheet and here you go and they copy it, because things happen and you have to adjust the workouts throughout the year. So I rather teach people how to do a training program, an annual plan as it's called, and then from there you can tailor it to different events that come up. Now feel free to take this video and copy it, because it is really the building block to your foundation of your program. Normally this video is over an hour long when I present this at a lecture, so to do this in 10 minutes will be a bit of a challenge, but I'll break it up into several parts. Now before I begin, a quick blurb on myself and the blog. It's the book I never wrote, has over 1,400 articles, and it's been cited through many major papers, both web as well as printed editions like ESPN magazine. Okay, 5 easy steps. Step 1, you must know your different types of workouts. That means you must know some basic physiology. You have to know what you're doing and why you're doing it. Like, why would you do 3 times 300 versus 10 times 200 at different speeds and different recoveries? And the best document you can get for free is from Michael Kemmel and Tony Lester from UK Athletics, and it's called Classifying Sprint Training Methods. And you can Google it, search it. I put it on the web here easily for you, speedendurance.com/UKA, and it's a multi-page PDF document. Sit down, read it a couple of times, and it's really going to help you identify and classify your workouts. Step 2, you have to have a good inventory of workouts. It's your toolkit. You have to have several kinds of workouts for the track, for the weight room, and for plyometrics, for your explosive work. And that means everything from the numbers, the rest, the recoveries, the weights, you name it. And if you go to my blog, like I said earlier, there's over 1,000 articles. You can search it for any topic you want. There's sample ones for plyometrics. There's one for weight training, all different kinds of exercises and rep schemes, and also tons of running articles, from breakdowns to 6 5 4 3 to 1 to the famous Clyde Hart 200-meter workouts to Clyde Hart's 3 times 350 meters. So you have to get a good idea of your workouts and just have them in little cards, have them on a piece of paper on your iPhone, and you can just dish them out as needed. Another good source, this is a paid product, and it's from the famous USATF coach Boo Schexnayder, and he has a great training DVD on this. There's a 4-part series with long jump, triple jump, but the DVD number 3 is about 400 different types of workouts, all on one DVD, explains what it does, and I made that shortcut for you. You can Google it, but if you go to speedendurance.com/boo DVD, you'll find it there as well. Step 3, get your racing schedule, and then you work backwards. Now for the lucky few, you peak for the trials of your country, and then you peak for the Olympic Games. That's nice for those people, but in my case, I train college people, and we like to have it in 2 blocks. We have the indoor national championships and the outdoor national championships, and that's it. So for me, 2 blocks. Some people use 3. But you have to work backwards. You have to start from the date in August or September and go back from there. Step 4 is to block your training modules. And this is where you decide on how you're going to periodize your plan. Now, I've seen elite athletes use 3 blocks or 3 periods. I personally use 2 for my athletes. And set your peaks accordingly. Now, I know Glenn Mills doesn't believe in peaking. He has one long peak from May until September, which explains why he runs, or Asafa Powell runs world records in June, because he's not peaking for September or August. Maybe he should, but that's not for me to say. And then once you decide on your blocks, there's really 3 blocks you need to know, and that's GPP, SPP, and CP. I'll explain what they are next. Okay, this is my annual plan breakdown, and I start with a 4-year plan with all my younger athletes who are 18, 19 years old, and say from 1 year I divide it into usually 2 blocks, indoor and outdoor season. That works for me. Some people like 3, but for me I use 2. And then from there, the GPP, SPP, and CP phases are split up, say for 1 indoor block. And GPP is General Physical Preparation, SPP, S stands for Specific, and CP stands for Competition Phase. And you'll notice that on this diagram, we do just GPP once for about 8 weeks, 2 months in October, November, and then we don't do it again in April after the March Indoor Nationals. This diagram has one little thing missing, and that's the transition phase, the rest week after your nationals, but that's the white space between the blocks. And yeah, this is it. This is how it looks like for our athletes. Now, most of my athletes finish in July, but in some cases, if you have a world-class athlete, you have a 3rd block that goes into August, September, and in some cases October for those competing in Commonwealth Games or the Pan Am Games or the European circuits. I'll continue the bottom bar in the next slide. The last step is to set up your training and recovery weeks. Now, for me, what works for me is every 4 weeks I do a cycle, 3 weeks hard, 1 week easy, or testing. And this is the same method that Stephen Francis used. Glenn Mills, Usain Bolt, and Johan Blake's coach, he does an 8-week block with the 1 week testing and 7 weeks training. This works with your athletes, depends on the season, facilities, weather, if there's an indoor track or not. I'm going back to the annual plan breakdown, and you'll see on the bottom bar I have say week 1 through week 8. Each week is divided into 7 days, and this is where you have to separate your hard days and easy days. Now, I believe you have to have either 2, 3, or 4 days a week of hard training. You cannot train hard 7 days a week. It's impossible unless you're on steroids. And even that, you train 6 days a week with one recovery day. Well, that's not here or there. Now, let's start with 2 days a week hard. Now, this is the case for masters athletes. For myself, personally, I just train hard twice a week. And usually 1 day is on a weekend, like a Sunday, and then Wednesday is my next hard day. I have 2 days rest or nothing, or easy day between. For my college athletes, we go hard 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, because we like to leave the weekends free, especially when in the fall season, because they're studying. And for the open athletes, the elite athletes that we have, we go hard 4 days a week. And for us, it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Now, I know what you're asking, how can you train 4 days a week with a rest period? Well, we believe in training hard Friday, Saturday, because 1, it's the weekend, they can recover. But 2, as long as you train different energy systems, you can go hard 2 days in a row, back to back. So our Friday workout is usually short speed, and on Saturday, it's the dreaded special endurance kind of training, like 2 times 500 meters. And sometimes they mysteriously don't show up for that workout because of a mystery jury duty on a Saturday or a traffic police school or something. But it happens, right? You just say, okay, well, it's part-time training, it's part-time results, as Charlie Francis would once say. And that's it for how to write a sprint program. I know this is very high level. It's not an hour long, but I'll make future videos on individual training blocks and individual weekly and daily sprint programs. For speedendurance.com, I'm Jimson Lee.